This is a tribute to Randy Brissom. He does great work. Check out his website. And what he does is he walks through the woods and he talks to the camera. When I go out by the cabin, I'm looking at structures and tree falls, looking for footprints. I'm lucky enough to have a gifting thing going on, and I've been really blessed with that. Here is this is a tree I've seen for a while. It fell about 5 years ago. This is what a 5-year-old fall looks like. It might have been an older tree. But I walked through the woods in stealth mode. When you walk on the road, you are safer from when you're walking other places through the woods. Another thing you can do is you can look at a hillside. This is good early evening or early morning, but you get activity on the other side of a hill. You can camp out and park your car, take an hour and look at another ridge with a high zoom. Here is I'm walking around through the bush, and I'll zoom in with the telescopic zoom. This is with the camera. And zoom in on places where there's dark areas. It seems that they'll tend to hide in these dark areas for cover. You notice it is a great day out there, beautiful weather and green and bright. And one thing you'll run into is pareidolia. I'm zoomed in here to looks like a black head. What this really is the back end of a log that's been blackened for some reason. And so when I look at it through the camera, it looked like a head. I use autofocus, and it sometimes autofocus will blur when you zoom in. What you can do is reset it and then zoom back in after it's focused on that particular area. Here is where a bear has grubbed, looking for grubs through this log here, which was a long time ago. You can tell how dry that wood is. That indicates that the grubs aren't there. The grubs like the wet wood, and bears will rip the logs apart on the ground looking for grubs. So again, I'm in stealth mode. I'm now walking through the area by the ridge next to the meadow. I ran into a couple of elk on this trip and thought I had them on camera, but they didn't show up. When you come to a ridge and look over the edge, good place to run into things. So be cautious, and if you're quiet, you can find wildlife out there. Constantly looking at new areas for possibility of some activity. Here's the meadow, and this is the best, the signs, the only indications that came. So here on this stump, first I looked at the root of this tree, which came from right there. This is a bunch of pine cones. It's a little unusual, pine cones on pine needles placed on the top of a stump. And honestly, this was probably a gift for me, and I was too stupid to recognize it and just grab one, because they like to give pine cones. The ancient Egypts used pine cones to represent knowledge. Here is an X in this tree right there, so don't go that way. This is the edge of their territory. So I'll take a look around, looking for tracks, and I'll look over to the right here. And what I'm looking for, I'm looking into their territory and then zooming in. That direction is where they really like to hang out. And so this is the edge of their territory. Their territory, of course, is the whole area up there. You have to be respectful everywhere you go. And, I appreciate that gift. I wish I was smart enough to have taken one of those pine cones. They gave me a pine cone a couple trips ago, and it's just the type of thing that they'll give to you. Again, this time I'm now using the new phone, which really turned out well. It's the Samsung 23. It is, the stabilization is pretty cool. All right, here we are by the cabin. This is the ridge. Here's the fire pit. And we are looking at the stumps. What I've used is put sticks and put them up when there's a gift for them. And when I got to this stump here, this is probably a sign. There's a branch, 2 branches on the stick, but this one here has been laid over the edge of a little twig and balanced a little bit precariously on the stump and on the twig of that branch. I did not do that, and so that's something they did for me. That just doesn't happen naturally. There was some scat right here I have a video of. I've left underneath that piece of birch bark little notes for them, and amazingly enough, they've left little drawings and notes for me, both right there, and also there was one in the cabin. Against that log up ahead, there was a card that was given to me. You can see that on Instagram. It said, when I'm with you, it puts a spring in my step. This was a card that was done by a card company and had been out in the wild. You could tell it was dirty and wet and been straightened out and laid on that log. We are up in the mountains, and it's a beautiful area. Have a light heart and good intentions. Be respectful of all wildlife. And this time of year, the flowers are purpley and bloomy. They're looking really good. So I'm rambling. As I ramble on, I'm going to ramble. Purpley is not a real word, but I like it. Here's our little picnic area. We're going to have a bonfire on the ridge. If anybody wants to come up, please do. Hey, this guy was, he was doing his morning prayers. Look at this. It's so cute. Just solid right there, looking at me, wondering where his next meal is coming from. And he's thankful, too, and blinks his eye. Love you. Love the chipmunks. They're really a crucial part of the wildlife. I don't think there's any problem giving some food, like little nuts, to our little friends. So that's the firewood pile. There he goes. And this is the other stump we just looked at with the stick on top of it. The gifting has been incredible. I've gotten the inclination that they want me to move away from the stump because I had set up a cam trap for them there, and that is very disrespectful. You try to trap them. Here you are, you're amongst these magnificent beings, smart, strong, and you are trying to fool them and get their picture. The only way I should get their picture is if they let me take their picture. And that hopefully will happen one day. This is the main way I go through the meadow. I know this area. This is right by the cabin on the ridge. And here's the new gifting area. Further away. And they had left this, I don't know if I show it, they left this rock kind of flat up, like a little tray. And hopefully I'll put things on there for them. When you're walking through the woods in stealth mode, you do have to be careful of running into bears. They are very silent walkers. You don't hear them, and so you can run right into them. The foliage is low right now, and they're easy to look around and see something before you run into it. But if you're in stealth mode doing wildlife photography, you have to be careful about where you go. Typically I'll carry a big stick and a knife, no firearms, but enough to, you can wave a stick over your head if you run into a mountain lion. With the bear, put both hands over your head and either talk to the bear or make yourself bigger and yell at the bear. Depends on his personality. When you look at fallen trees, you're looking for where did this particular tree or branch come from. If you look right there, it fell from that spot right there in the ground, but it was hard to see originally. Again, walking on the road, you are less likely to get attacked by anything. You're not going to run into anything, and the animals are kind of cautious of things that are walking on the road. It's all about your intention and your demeanor. You want to walk with confidence. You are playing the role of a predator when you're filming, so you're stalking different wildlife. An animal, mostly intelligent animals like wolves, cougars, and bears, will see this as predatorial behavior, and they will respect that. Thank you for coming. Love having people watch my videos and really appreciate that. Like and subscribe. Thank you.